Hi, everybody. It's Heidi Kaisend at Hen and Chick Studio. How are you doing this evening? It's another beautiful day in Iowa, and we're working a little late tonight because I have a special guest with us, and I thought it would be really fun to get Bonnie Ort on camera with me, and she is going to be teaching a class on needle felting coming up here at Hen and Chick Studio on September 26th. And we want to let everybody know we've had a lot of good questions about needle felting. And I thought it would be really great just to have her do a little promo about the class so that you might learn a little bit and find out if you're interested in doing this. So, let's start off by, do you know what needle felting is? And if you do, put that in the comments and we'll see if we get your questions answered. Or if you have questions along the way as Bonnie is talking, don't hesitate to put them into the comments. I can see them and we'll try to get everything answered before we go off of this live video. But so let's start with, why are we doing this class? And here at Hen and Chick Studio, and we are in Conrad, Iowa, if you're not in the area, we love to do wool applique. And there's a lot of different textures involved with wool applique. And we started talking about the different shapes that are possible. And Jerry actually said, could we do like needle felting applique shapes? And that is exactly how the idea for this class was born. And we asked Bonnie if she was willing to participate and teach this class. And she said yes. Yay! So the class is September 26th. And there's, of course, more information for signing up on our website at henandchickstudio.com. You can come into the store as well. But without further ado, we're going to go back and forth on this as far as the camera goes. But I'm going to introduce you to Bonnie. So hang here with me. And so there's Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie. How are you doing? And Bonnie is we've got a whole bunch of stuff set out here on the table. And Bonnie, let's first talk about, let's talk about what needle felting is. Tell me what needle felting is.
Needle felting is just absolutely fun, and it's very simple. Anybody can do this. And in our class, we're going to start with just the very basics. We're going to teach you all about the felting needles, and I have some here. They are very specialized needles. They have tiny, tiny barbs on the end, and what those barbs do, they will lock the fibers in place.
Can't quite get that detailed on the camera here, but we'll trust you that there's barbs on the ends.
We're going to show you how you do this. And,
okay.
And basically it's just taking some fiber. This is a little bit of alpaca, and it's just pressing it down. And what that does, it locks the fiber into itself.
You're just going up and down.
Just go up and down with it. And we're just going to start with the basics of that.
And don't mind my silly questions, but this is simply a base for you to poke into, right?
It's
not part of the final project. It's
to protect the table and you, because the needles are very, very sharp. So that's just to put the item on. And when we felt, we're going to start with the complete basics. I work with our own wools. We raise Jacob sheep, so we work with those wools. And I also have alpaca, so I'm going to show you the difference between those as they felt. And we also work with llama.
Now, Bonnie, I obviously have talked with you enough to know. So, like right now, this piece of white wool, do we know what animal this came off of? Because I do.
His name is Snuggles Jr.
Snuggles Jr. I like it. So
you can really personalize.
Yes,
what
you can.
You're working with, so.
Absolutely. Do you want to, as we talk about the fibers, why don't we have you show us? You've got a basket here.
We have a basket here. We're just going to start out. This first compartment here is the wools from our Jacob sheep. The middle is llama. A couple of examples of llama fiber. And back here is alpaca. And each one has a different feel to it. Each one has a different felting aspect. And I can kind of, when we get into the class, I can just kind of direct you as we go as far as which fiber would be better for the project that you want to do.
Now, as I'm holding the camera on the fibers that we're looking at, we know there are no hot pink sheep out there. But so are you then dyeing
Yes,
wool?
We have the wools dyed. We have a lot of natural fleece colors, but I also like to get some brightness in there.
So like this might be natural.
That is natural fleece color, yeah.
But then
Then
you
of course
are
the green and the yellow and the pink are all dyed. And
Yep.
then we have a sage blue that's dyed, and lavender. And with this class, we are including a starter kit
okay.
that
I'm gonna go over here. This is the starter kit. So as part of the class fee, which is $50, you get this starter kit. And tell us what's in there, just so we can.
And in there is our basic sampler of the fiber, all 3 species of fiber, the llama, alpaca, and Jacob sheep. And I have plenty of natural colors along with some dyed brighter colors. And in this packet here, we have included the 3 basic gauges of needles. When you needle felt, the needles are created as different gauges. So one needle is good for the overall starting point where you want to push a lot of fiber together quickly. And the thinner the needle point, the more detailed you can work as far as getting in those little areas. And this is
amazing.
something that you can do as detailed as you want. And if you just want to do an abstract that's not very detailed, we can do that too. So
Okay, and then this is a base.
that is a base made of our own Jacob sheep wool. It's similar to like a pre-felt. And I just include those because those work great in a type of form we can do these appliques.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so just remember, so the class is $50. This entire kit is included. You do not bring anything to the class. Do they need a pair of scissors?
Nope, I will supply everything.
Everything.
Just
So
bring
literally,
yourselves.
you would show up, you have to pre-register. You do have to pre-register, so she has enough kits for everybody. But you would not need to come with anything other than this. Okay, so here is what we would call a traditional wool applique project that we have here in the store. The pattern's called Autumn Blooms. And it's a project like this that we start talking about, like, could this shape be felted, needle felted, and given extra oomph to it. And for example, I'm going to just grab this little, Bonnie made this adorable little butterfly. Isn't he just a cute little thing? So let's just say, for example, we wanted a butterfly that this is, dimensional. We could actually create it and then applique it onto our motif so that it adds different dimension, different texture. That's something I think that when you start working with the different wools and stuff, it really is amazing how fun it is to add dimension like that. So let's talk a little bit about how you come up with designs and some of the things that you've done.
Now, one way we can do this is I like to go on the internet and just find pictures that I like. And I'm going to suggest, if you want to come to the class, just be thinking of some design that you'd like to do. What would be fun for you to do? Find a picture, bring
inspiration.
that in.
You're just looking for inspiration.
Yeah. All we need is a picture to go by and bring that in, and I can help you walk you through that. And if you can't think of anything, I will have plenty of ideas for you.
Yeah.
Now, for instance, this is just a picture of a little comical owl. And I just sat down last night and just thought, okay, how can I just create that? So I just kind of started, and this actually only took about a half hour.
Really?
So it doesn't take long at all to make these.
And let's just say I thought, he needed, maybe I got too much blue or this green in there. You could actually put more white on top of it and needle felt it. So it's sort of like it's never done.
No.
Unless you
can do, and what's nice about needle felting, it's a little different from painting. If you don't like the blue, that can just lift right off. Mm-hmm. So this is really nice. If you change your mind halfway through and want to redo it, this is very forgiving, and you can just change it as you go.
You bet. And so you've got several other examples here of things that we've had this sample in the store for the last couple of months to show you, but these are all you created with the idea that they would come off of this white background and that we would be able to applique them onto another project.
Like,
So
like these I made and I just tacked down very lightly. With these needles, you can just tack lightly and they'll come up. See that lift right off?
isn't that amazing?
And I can kind of show you here. I'm going to use this little foam pad and pull this over here. If I want to attach something permanently to a felt base or even a material base, I can take the finer needle and just start going up and down. And what it does, it just presses that wool into your base that you have, and it locks those in there. You can kind of see those little pieces.
That's awesome.
And depending on how much you press in is how much it's going to adhere to the base. Like right now, if I decided, no, I don't like that positioning, just very gently lift it off.
You can lift it off.
And you can start over.
Yeah. And we could then take this and it's interesting that the design is more definite on one side and not as defined on the other. But like, again, I realize the colors aren't quite right. I'm not colorblind here, but at the same time, let's just say I wanted that flower at the top of my stem. I could do that. And then because this is wool underneath, we could actually take the needles and felt it right into that, correct? Yes.
And it is even possible with these finer needles. I have even worked with cotton blends as the base or flannel. So it is possible to work with different materials as your base instead of just the wool pre-filled.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really cool, and so does Dina. She's watching, and she says it's really cool. So, and it is fun. It is an amazing way. So show us a few of the other things you've got here.
Now these are just some examples. My mom made these, and then just different ways you can play around, just make some fun stuff. There's no rules with this. And any design that you would want to do, jot it out on a piece of paper, kind of do a rough sketch, and or just go online and find a picture like I did with the owl.
Yeah.
And another way, if I'm going to include in the starter kit that pre-felt base. It's about like 9 by 11 inches or so.
That's this bigger piece.
Right. You
bigger
can see
piece
the back of it, and I'll have different shades of wool. And a way we can utilize that, you can just take little pieces and we can start felting a pattern in there and then cut it out at the end when we get all done. Or to utilize, if you have a bigger piece in mind, say a bigger applique picture you want to do, we could do something like this. I was just thinking, how could we just do a comical rooster? So I just sketched something. And
I love roosters.
And a way we can do that, after I sketch it, we can I use a transfer pin, and then I can turn this around and iron it onto the pre-felt. So after this is ironed onto our wool base, you'll have the image here.
That's what this is down here. Like you haven't felted that yet.
So I ironed on this transfer for the whole rooster. And I went ahead and needle felted fiber inside the lines on part of it.
Isn't he a cool rooster? We love him.
So, and this is just an example, but
yeah.
Lots of different things we can do.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, so many things here. I'm going to turn the camera back around. For all of you, joining us, just reiterate that Bonnie, who we've been talking with, is our teacher on September 26th from 5:30 to 7:30. Our class is $50, and that includes that whole packet of fiber and needles and everything that you need. So you'd come just yourself. You bring yourself to the class, and you don't have to do anything else but come and show up. And then she will inspire you to make all of these wonderful shapes that you could use on appliques. She does a lot of two-dimensional work, and so there's so much more than just the applique shapes, but it's a place to start. It's a place of understanding how to use these simple needles, and it's kind of fun that you can mix and match the colors of fibers and really make some interesting items. So registration is required for the class so that she comes prepared with enough kits for all of you. And so you can go to henandchickstudio.com and sign up there. Do it online. It's super easy. You can do it right now. And otherwise, you can call the store during store hours, which are Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 3. And the phone number is 641-366-3336. Or stop in here at 101 North Main Street in Conrad, Iowa. And we'd be glad to show you the sample and see what else. Anything else, Bonnie, before we're done? Anything else you can think of? I'll put Bonnie's back here with me.
Looking forward to this. We're going to have lots of fun.
Very good. Thanks, everybody, and we hope to see you soon.